Welcome everyone to another video, and today we are going to take a look at Dubwool. Is a normal type Pokemon that this season got the fast move double kick. It's a 3-turn fast move, 8 damage, 12 energy, so it is a very high energy generating move. Before this it only had tackle to go with the charge move, body slam and payback, so which is really not optimal. But then again, this season it got basically a 2-in-1 special, I guess, because tackle also got buffed, and then it got introduced to double kick, which is a really strong move. So I would think that you could try to use tackle, but then again double kick is far superior. It gives you a lot more coverage against the meta like Bastiodon or Galarian Stunfisk. You can also choose to run the wild charge here. It would be good, for example, again in this matchup against the Azumarill, but then again wild charge will give you the defense debuff, and it will not be as good against Galarian Stunfisk, which will double resist the wild charge and also single resist the body slam. So payback in this instance would be very beneficial to at least hit Galarian Stunfisk for neutral and to beat other ghost types like the Trevenant, because you only have Sableye at the back. And then here, after we kill off the Azumarill, they have a Shadow Dragonite, which also got a buff this season with superpower to hit the steel types, and here they elected to not shield it at all. And their last mod is Shadow Victory Bell. So here we had to do a bit of mind games here. We had to farm them so that we can hit, so that a body slam would kill it. But then they elected to not shield it, which for us is a good thing, because then we can just Shadow Claw down. We don't have to throw a foul play, and we take the first game here. GG's to the opponent. Double Shadow at the back. Very spicy, but then again we managed to hold on. In the second game here, we also have another Pokemon which could be very troubling for this team, which is an Altaria. We don't have a hard check for it, so we have to stay in, and hopefully we can maybe do some damage and chip it to red health. But we do have to expand a shield because they will get to their charge move here, and then we have to farm up a bit more to make it as though we have a wild charge, just so that they will not be able, so that maybe we can threaten the shield. But they elected to not shield it, and here we decided to just let it go. Now it has done its job. We are at a shield at disadvantage, but we are able to come in here and farm with Sableye all the way down, get loads of energy, have a foul play banked to see what is at the back, and then there's Araquanid. So Araquanid is bad for both of my backline mons because it deals at least neutral, and it has Bug Buzz, which hits like a truck against dark types like Sableye and also psychic types. But Sableye has a better matchup here because we do have energy advantage, so we will stay in here and hopefully do some chip damage. They did farm a lot of energy and they decided to throw here, which I think it was a Bug Buzz, and it was, so it was a very good shield, and then decided to swap into their Wish Cache, which is very nice for them because Wish Cache is a lot tankier than the conventional Mud Boy that you see like Swampert. So, and it has Blizzard, which hits very hard against everything, although it does not have Hydro Cannon like Swampert. Here we decided to just counter until we are like right before they are able to catch, until they are able to get to a Mud Bomb. So, but it was still not enough because Psycho Boost gets the double debuff, but we did simultaneous KO, and since we have one more shield here, we are able to get to double foul play. this matchup would have been a lot worse if they had stayed in, for example, and if they had baited against me, because then defense dioxys will not be able to do that much damage to take it out as fast as possible, so that we have enough energy to do a triple cycle boost, because a double cycle boost, as you can see, that did not kill a wish cache, and with health disadvantage you needed the triple cycle boost to beat it. And here we meet a Swampert in the lead, another very bad lead for us, but we managed to land the payback and immediately swap out, preserving the shield for the back line if possible, and they switch it into Cresselia, so a tanky psychic type versus a tanky psychic type, but they do have the advantage in terms of health and in terms of spamminess of their move, because Psycho Cut gets a lot more energy compared to Counter, and it has access to Moonblast, which hits a lot harder than Thunderbolt here, as you can see. And then here I believe we got a CMP tie with them on the charge move, so we are just going to let this go, preserving the 2 shields for Sableye at the back, because we believe we are able to use it. Sableye is going to be clutch in the end game. We shield once, knowing that they already have enough for a Moonblast, because Moonblast will be super effective. And here I believe the Swampert was one much shot away from the Hydro Cannon, so we just managed to farm it down, and they brought in Lapras. So here is where potentially Wild Charge would have been beneficial, because we can farm up to double Wild Charge and then possibly take it out. But since we only have Payback, and we know that Sableye has to be protected at all costs in the end game, because they still have the Swampert they still have the Cresselia at the back, I believe. So we throw the foul play and then shield their charge move, knowing that at worst is going to be an Ice Beam, but it won't kill us anyways, but we will shield it just for the extra comfort, because we never know, maybe we wrongly counted the Cresselia and maybe it was very near to another fast move, but turns out they're not. Going to the next game, we have a Lickitung lead, which is the best lead you can possibly ask for a Dubwool. And then here we're going to do some chip damage on the Lantern, because it does get a lot of energy from Spark, and if we swap immediately we would be at a disadvantage, because they would have had a lot of energy bank for our swap in mod, and we could not lose the switch advantage here, because Dubwool was supremely good against Lickitung, who in turn would do very good against our backline of Defense Dioxys and Sableye. And here we farm a bit extra so that we could get to a Psycho Boost against the Lickitung, but they decided to get into Medicham, so it's almost a triple hard counter team against our opponent here. Dubwool on the Lickitung, Defense Dioxys on the Lantern, and then Sableye on the Medicham. Medicham has nowhere to go. We can just Psycho Boost once here, let the Defense Dioxys go down, and then come back here with Sableye. And then as we can see here, the opponent forfeits the game. GG's. And then the last game of the first set, they come in with Lantern. So this is a bit tricky because they will outspam us, and they are a bit bulkier than Dubwool, I believe, so we can try to farm up to maybe a double Wild Charge, hoping that they might think we're gonna nuke and bail, but they decided to not shield at all, so we swap immediately to Dioxys to catch the next serve. And then here they will stay in which means that their backline most probably had something weak against defense Deoxys. They are going to throw another serve here before they swap out, and they swap into a Medicham. So if our defense Deoxys was a bit healthier, we would have been able to beat it, because we do resist the nuke moves that Medicham have. Unfortunately, we were chipped quite a lot by the Lantern here, and in turn we were not able to do that much except for Thunderbolt and a Psycho Boost. Psycho Boost would still do a bit of damage here, and then we can come in with Sableye and then farm them down. And here is where I think I made a mistake. I maybe should have shielded the Ice Punch, because as you can see here, the last mon is Altaria, and Altaria definitely has the advantage here because their fast move does a lot more damage. Dragon Breath is just busted in the game, and Altaria is super tanky, one of the OG mons in Go Battle League, especially in Great League. And then here we can see that even before we get to our second foul play, Sableye has reached the red health, and we do not have enough health on the Dubwool to threaten it at all, and then we don't even have enough energy to threaten it as well. And here we try to go for a Payback, hoping that it would KO, but as you can see here, Altaria is just super tanky, even though Payback is a nuke. But then again, Altaria is just very defensively orientated, and it won't do much. And here they bring a Lantern. I wasn't so sure about how much energy they had, and I was pretty sure that Body Slam will not kill, so we had to go for the Payback here. And because of that, we do not have enough energy to threaten the Altaria at the back, and we are just about missed out on that last foul play that could have KO'd the Altaria. I mean, our Sableye was a lucky traded Purified Sableye, so it does not have as much bulk as compared to somebody who farms all the XL and gets a level 50 or whatever, or very high level Purified Sableye. If a high level Purified Sableye most probably would have won that game instead. So going on to the next battle, we have another Altaria. We have to shield the potential Moonblast, try to potentially get another shield back, and they do shield. We contemplate shielding this because we do want to preserve our Sableye at least, and we decided to try and go for the farm down, but it was too risky. We counted the amount of Shadow Claws that we did, because 2 Dragon Breaths would be the same as 1 Shadow Claw, and based on my count, they would be reaching the Sky Attack on that last Shadow Claw animation, so we just had to throw it. And here they over farmed their Swampert, misjudged it totally, and then we managed to get off 2 foul plays and get them in the red health, while we still have a very healthy Dubwool and a defense Deoxys at the back. And we are just going to let this charge move go. I believe it's a Hydro Cannon. Oh no, it's a Earthquake. Yeah, they had so much energy there. And then here they brought in Galarian Stunfisk. So in this scenario, Payback is very beneficial, because especially if we were to start on an even footing, whereby both sides start with 0 energy, we would outpace them before they get to Earthquake to KO our Dubwool. And here we can just farm the defense Deoxys all the way down. I could have maybe played this a bit differently and go for a double Psycho Boost instead, one on the G-Fisk and then the other on the Swampert, but then again I thought that maybe I can try to farm it all the way down, which was totally unnecessary. But here we still managed to get to a Psycho Boost and win the game. If it was a lag if there was lag, maybe even for 1 second we would have lost that, which I guess was unnecessary. And then here we have a Cresselia lead. A Cresselia lead, it's a fairly even matchup. It also depends on whether or not we are able to land a payback and whether or not they get the attack debuff from Moonblast. And here they do not get the attack debuff on the Moonblast, and we are going to throw the payback, and let's see whether or not it hits. And it does so much damage. And then we come in with Defense Dioxys to soak up the charge move, and they will most probably swap out, because if they don't, then we can just farm them all the way down, and decided to stay in, and that is just free energy for Defense Dioxys, and they quit the game. So most probably they had something like a Bastiodon at the back, or possibly a Vigoroth, you know, things that are weak to counter damage. And then here, so there was no point of them staying in. So going on to the next game, we have another Azumarill, another match whereby Wild Charge would have been very beneficial. We could not swap out because this one could have had Play Rough, and Sableye does not like to be hit by Play Rough. The only weakness that it has is Fairy type, so it wouldn't do super effective damage against it. And then here we bank a payback against it, but Azumarill is very healthy, and we decided to shield it here again because we believe that they were not messing around in terms of their charge moves. They were immediately going for the nukes, not messing around trying to go for Ice Beam or Play Rough. So we decided to shield that, and they had Sableye at the back, which is again very problematic. We tried to get to another Thunderbolt, we could not, so we just go for the Psycho Boost to do some chip damage, and hopefully Dubwool is able to get to the payback, and we do. But then again, it leaves us in a very precarious place whereby Sableye has to farm Azumarill all the way down without knowing what's the last mon at the back. And here they do manage to get to a Play Rough, which is bad because we now have no shield versus their 2 shields, and basically if they have anything but a Ghost at the back, we will lose. And here they have a Talonflame, so of course we have all of this energy, but then again there was no point of having all this energy if we are gonna lose to a charge move straight away. And our opponent here makes a very good judgment call to go straight for the flame charge, knowing that our Dubwool is already very low on health, and then Sableye is unprotected. There's no point of trying to play games there, and they took us out. And to the next game, we have a Skarmory lead. What do you know? A common team, another mon that could have been beneficial if we had a Wild Charge, but this mon on the other hand is very good if we don't have Wild Charge to go against it. And with them having Skarmory in the lead and the Quagsire as a safe swap, I saw this lineup late last season. They will most probably have a Swampert at the back. Is a very common combo. Skarmory and the Swampert, they do complement each other very well because Swampert's only weakness is a double weakness to a grass type, which Skarmory totally walls, and then Skarmory's weakness of fire and electric type is resisted by Swampert, so it's almost like a match made in heaven. And then here they swap back out to a Skarmory, and then we can just chip them a bit more and then come in with our Defense Dioxys and then try to go for the Thunderbolt to one hit KO their Skarmory. And with shields down, Sableye can go to town. We can just throw the Thunderbolt here, and kill them off, and then we're gonna wait to see what they're gonna bring in. And they decided to bring in their, what did you see? Swampert. So we try to go for the CMP tie here. They win it. Hopefully we are able to survive this Hydro Cannon so that we can throw the Psycho Boost, and Defense Deoxys is just very tanky, able to survive the Hydro Cannon with a bit of HP, going for a few more counters before it goes down. I did a very potentially bad call here, could have lost me the game by bringing in Dubwool. It would have been more beneficial to bring in the Sableye because the Quagsire would not have gotten to a Stone Age anyways, but they decided to give me another win con here by swapping out into a Quagsire, letting me farm down to get enough energy for the foul play to kill off their Swampert and win this game. So yeah, if I made myself very difficult to win there, but somehow it still manages to pull off. And then here they have a Vigoroth lead. It would have been a good thing if we were a fighting type with double kick, but then again, since we are a normal type, we would still get hit by super effective counter, and counter does supremely more damage than double kick. And then they decided to stay into Vigoroth, which tells me that they had something weak in the back, and it turned out they did with this Haunter. And we farm all the way up because so that we can get to one Thunderbolt and then the Psycho Boost, because the Psycho Boost on its own, a debuff Psycho Boost most probably will not kill, even though Haunter is a very squishy boy or girl, you know, it's a ghost, right? So it could have potentially killed it, but I didn't want to take a risk. And then they have Shadow Machamp at the back, and now there's a problem. Shadow Machamp is very good, and especially with energy, and potentially they could have had Payback. They could have beaten my Sableye as well. And then here we decided to just shield the Dubwool, bank a Body Slam for the Machamp if necessary. Hopefully we survive, and we do, and then we can just swap out to Sableye and farm them all the way down. But we have to take a Bulldoze before that, but it's okay. We are able to farm them all the way down, and then a return will return this Machamp back into their Pokeball, and that is a GG's. Thank you everyone for watching, and hope to see you in the next one. Bye.